looks like rain again today. Dark clouds gather and fill the sky. Don't know how to talk to you, just know how to say goodbye.
Would you actually got a private flight, Sally? I don't think so. Did you say it's back there, George?
Go back where you came from. Learn to speak English.
Go back where you came from. What's wrong with you, Harry?
You don't want to speak. I've had enough of you. I've had enough of you.
People around the world are cheering today as world peace has been achieved and mass starvation is now a thing of the past. So people have lots to be proud of. Be sure to watch tonight. We have a breaking news story. Technology has officially ended world hunger.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Tyson Austin Eberly, and you are watching Zeitgeist live. All right, we got a great show for you tonight. First, we're gonna have I'm gonna do a little get down for you guys. But this get down is gonna be to a track done by a movement's very own Brian Westbrook out of Houston, Texas. Following that, we're gonna have Mr. Chad Fisher Comedy giving a nice little social commentary. As well as we're also going to be doing a really fantastic roundtable discussion with Bunny White and Jenna Hasso, as well as Chad Fisher and myself. We're going to be talking about unity, human unity, as well as sexuality, as well as lying to our children. What is this? How does this manifest as they grow older? So very exciting stuff indeed. All right, so what's happening? What's going on? What's coming up? Well, we've got the Artivist Film Festival. This is going to be taking place here in Austin, Chicago, and 6 other cities. It's going to be the 8th annual Artivist Film Festival, and so what they're doing now this year is they're simultaneously having the film festival in 8 different cities. Austin has been chosen to be one of those 8 cities, and we're going to be showing the films actually in 2 different locations. Up in Leander at the Leander Public Library, it's going to be running on July 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then here in Austin at the Spider House, we're going to be showcasing the films on Saturday the 10th. Excuse me. There's going to be 10 films. All 10 of these films are going to cover anywhere from animal, environmental, children, preservation, as well as warfare, and just really socially conscious films, ranging anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and a half. So it's very exciting, and so we're looking forward to that. So the Artivist Film Festival is going to be brought to you by the Zeitgeist movement. Following that, we have the Zeitgeist Media Fest coming up. This is going to be a little bit later on here in the year, but we want to start promoting it now. This is the Zeitgeist Media Fest taking place in Los Angeles, but it's also going to be simultaneously taking place across not just the country. This is a global movement, but in all parts of the world. This will be taking place September 10th, 11th, and 12th. September 10th and 11th. And in Los Angeles is going to be where the main festival is held, and there's going to be different films that are going to be showcased. There's going to be different musicians, poets, comedians. It's going to be really good stuff. And apparently, I haven't heard any names yet, but there's going to be some pretty big names that have signed on to perform at the festival. So that's good stuff. Let's see here. Also, I want to talk about Burning Man. Burning Man this year, 2011, there's going to be a Zeitgeist camp at Burning Man. I will be there. I think some others on our team are going to be there as well. At least we intend to be there. This is really good stuff because Burning Man is a place where a lot of people come and that are very open-minded. They are already geared toward alternatives. We have a fantastic camp that's already laid out and designed, which would hold probably 100 people easily, if not more. Right now, I think we've got around 30, 35 people signed on to go to Burning Man this year. And the idea is to, because at Burning Man, there's all sorts of different workshops that you can take. There's a lot to learn at Burning Man. Of course, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of, partying that goes on there. But there's also a lot of intentionality that takes place there. And so I went in 2007, and yes, it was a lot of fun, but I am geared toward progress now. And so being that there's a Camp Zeitgeist, I'm really excited to go there. We're going to be handing out DVDs, pamphlets. We're going to have billboards, all sorts of good stuff, and just, really being a presence. So come on, let's do this. Head on out to Burning Man with us. Also, okay, so last week, or maybe it was the week before, but we had Chad Fisher debut his most recent skit, Alex Jones' Mad as Hell skit. You can find this at chadfishercomedy.com. But we're excited to say that it's only been 1 week now, and the video is going viral. It's got probably about 1,500 views, and what's really cool is we got the PJ bump. Peter Joseph posted the video on his Facebook page, so this is really exciting stuff. And we're very excited to be a part of this skit as well, and just happy to see Chad go viral. So if you want to see that, yes, please tune in to just go to chadfishercomedy.com, and you can check out all of his skits, all of his prank calls, all the wonderful work that Chad's been doing over the past few years. Okay, let's say another thing that has come about is TZM Network. The Zeitgeist movement has its own social network now, so it's kind of like Facebook, but just dedicated toward folks of the Zeitgeist movement. It's also integrated with Facebook, so basically you log into the Zeitgeist Movement Network, and if you make any posts or anything like that, it will also post them to your Facebook profile. So that's very cool as well. Now, if you're local here and you want to get involved, I highly recommend that you join our Facebook page. If you're in Texas, join our Facebook page. This is the Zeitgeist Movement Texas chapters. You can find us on Facebook. All you got to do is just type it in, and there we are. So I would start with joining there, as well as join our Meetup page. This is, you can just go to Google and just search out meetup.com Texas, and you'll get the Meetup page. What the Meetup page is going to do is it's going to send you any emails for any upcoming events, meetups. I'm the Austin chapter coordinator, and we're about to get into a house all together. We're going to be holding screenings, potlucks, possibly, we plan on doing some hydroponics, as well as some square foot gardening. So we're going to be having a lot of workshops, and we want to, get the local community involved. So we've got some great festivals coming up as well. Jenna here on the team has got a great festival coming up called the Interdependence, the Declaration of Interdependence, and we'll have her on soon here to talk more about that. Yes, so please sign up on meetup.com and get involved. Also, if you're watching the show and you want to keep up with any of our archives, if you've missed any of the shows, you can always go to zeitgeistlive.tv and check out our archives. And you can also, if you're ever curious on where to watch the show live, you can just go to our website, click on the television box there, and it will take you to our live streaming page where we are streaming right now on the Channel Austin Network. All right, that was a bit of a long intro. Let's move on into the show. Our first segment is our transformative technology. Following our transformative technology, I'm going to be doing a little dance for you guys, to be followed by Mr. Chad Fisher, and then a roundtable discussion. So thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoy the show. What we have coming up next is our main man, Mr. Chad Fisher, delivering some social commentary for you. Put your hands together.
Together.
All right, brother, kill it.
Finna get it on. What's going on, everybody? I'm Chad Fisher, doing social commentary as usual here. I'm in a really good mood today. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in a great mood today. I saw like 10 girls with those fat booty pants on, you know what I'm saying? They walking around, you know what I'm talking about? Like them spandex pants be showing everything, like the crevices of the booty and stuff. I'm like, God damn. I will stop a car to look at some of that action, for real. I'm not even lying. For real, that's gonna cause an accident real fast. I'm just gonna tell you. Don't walk around South Lamar, South Congress, anywhere around there with them fat booty pants on, girls. We're gonna hit a bunch of children or something like that, you know what I mean? So that got me in a nice little mood today. I hate it when the girls wear, like, they be trying to tease you and stuff. They be having the fat booty pants on and they got like a real long shirt on, covering it up. I'm like, come on, lift that shit up, girl. Quit playing. You over here teasing me. Quit playing. Lift it up. Let me see the booty. Come on, girl. Quit it. Good God. Y'all allowed to laugh out loud. It's fine. It's totally okay. Let's not hold it in any longer. Let's just let that laughter out. It keeps me going. My ego gets bigger. I'm going to be up here all damn night real fast. Y'all going to be wondering where the damn show went real quick. But it's funny as hell. It's always a good day for me when I don't have to hear any mainstream news or mainstream bullshit. You know what I mean? That usually makes for an A-okay day with me, you know. But I find it funny, the mainstream news, like just how, like, crazy this shit is, you know what I mean? Like, this stuff will make you go insane. You be walking around, like, checking, you know, underneath your car and stuff like that. You read the mainstream news. These motherfuckers will scare the shit out of you real fast, you know? So, like, for example, this is what I want to do right now. If you're at home, go to, like, CNN or something like that, any news website, and check it out and see what it's about. So this is what the little experiment that I want to do here. Let's go the other way. But let's just go through some of the headlines here on news, and let's kind of talk about what kind of society this portrays for our youngsters. You know what I'm saying? Can we go full screen on that action real quick? So you look at like some of these things here, like dead, you know, or deal. All this stuff is the budget, people dying. You know what I'm saying? Arnold Schwarzenegger, the hillbilly, fathering 27 children. You know, like all this stuff. You just go down through here. Everything is murder, death, war, missing children. Oh, God, we got so many missing children, we don't know what to do with them. We're going to have a hell of a time. We couldn't find Osama bin Laden in 11 years. We're going to have a hell of a time finding some of these missing children. I'm going to tell you that right now. But you just go through this, and you can bring me back. But you go through, like, the CNN website and everything like that, and everything is murder, death, you know, war, oil spills. Everything is bad news. You notice they don't say on there, you know, hey, go give your neighbor a hug today. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't say that, you know what I mean? It's just everything's trying to make you scared. And then like when they do throw out some entertainment, it's always like the lamest, dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life, you know? Like, for crying out loud, if I see Charlie Sheen one more time, I'm going to find him and uppercut him at least 4 times. I'm not playing. He's going to get a couple all-you-cans real quick. All-you-can! I'm going to follow through on that son of a bitch, too. I'm going to go right through his chin and bring it back around and come back up again. He's going to get 7 of those sons of bitches. If I see that goofy, no-talented cracker piece of shit one more time, I'm going to go ape shit. I'm not playing, you know? And then Arnold Schwarzenegger obviously is in the news because everyone found out 10 years after he was governor that he's a friggin' hillbilly, you know? Just snatching up girls all over the place. Like, this dude couldn't even go and meet some girl somewhere at a club or a bar or something like that. He had to go ahead and start banging the maid in the house. Like, man, you are a horny son of a bitch, for real. And he had a kid with this girl. Yeah, this dude, you didn't hear about this? So Arnold Schwarzenegger is just coming out that he's got like all these love childs, you know. One of them, they were like born days apart from the child that he had with his like wife. You know what I mean? So how's that working out for you, California? This guy tells you right after he's served as governor for 10 years. Oh, by the way, I might have not been able to keep my shit in my pants, you know. I was going around touching, you know, a little DJing here and there on the weekend. But, you know what I mean? Like, come on, this dude is a damn hillbilly. Get out of here. Like, what white trash piece of garbage. Get the hell out of here, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But, like, the world's going crazy, you know what I mean? When this is considered news and everything like that, I mean, it's not hard to discern that the world is gone ape shit, you know what I mean? So when you look at this stuff on the news and everything like that, first of all, what is this telling our kids, you know? Okay, that's the first thing. Let's not get too much into that. But then when you look at that, you have to ask yourself, is this working? Because by the looks of things, it looks like Armageddon, you know, hell's about to break loose, you know what I mean? And people are just like, let's just, maybe McCain can save us. Who knows, you know? Maybe a Republican, shit, you know? This is like, come on, man. Y'all need to wake up. This is not working. Let's cut our losses, for crying out loud. Let's stop already. The world is getting crazier and crazier, you know what I mean? Just a year ago, in Washington, D.C., there was a group of people that got together and decided it was the first snowfall of the year. And so a bunch of people got together like somewhere in D.C., downtown, I believe, and they started having a snowball fight. And a cop literally comes up to them and holds them at gunpoint. Holds these people at gunpoint because they're having a snowball fight. And he's like, put the snowball down. I will shoot your ass. Ugh. Leave the premises. It's like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? These dudes can't even have snowball fights? What's next? You know? It's crazy. You know? So then what's funny as hell to that is this dude's like, hey, put the snowballs down. You know what I mean? And the whole thing that there's a charge that civilians can be charged with disturbing the peace or civil unrest. That's one of my favorite, or my personal favorite, civil disobedience. Like, civil disobedience. Am I a dog? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to punch me on the nose with a newspaper or something? Like, I'm not going to get a treat afterwards or something? Shit, I need that treat. Come on, shit. This is ridiculous. Like, but then, you notice they have all these charges disturbing the peace, civil unrest and everything like that, but they're allowed to go start a war and bomb a bunch of little brown kids. That's not disturbing the peace. They were just hanging out, playing checkers, you know what I mean? Watching some boob tube, you know, and you guys just decided to drop a bomb on them. That was pretty peaceful before, and then you just came in and, you know, screwed up their whole lives. But that's not disturbing the peace. Shame on you. Shame. Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And then another thing is like another example of how the world's going crazy, you know. It's funny as hell that if you go and try and steal a CD from a record store or something like that, go and try and steal a CD from a record store and they'll arrest your ass and throw your ass in jail. But if you're a CEO of a business and you steal billions and billions of dollars of taxpayers' money or, you know, misappropriate funds or something like that, you just get fired, you know. How is that fair? You know what I mean? Like these banks and everything like that. Oops, we lost trillions of dollars. Shame on us. We learned our lesson this time. We won't do interviews we don't pay for. That's for damn sure. You know? Like, does that seem fair to me? Yeah, it sounds fair. Gotta love America. Woohoo. When do we vote again? You know? Super. But another thing that you see that is bred out of this sick society is us lying to our children. Like, this is disgusting to me. You know what I mean? I hear this all the time about you know, it's just ridiculous to threaten your children with a made-up hell. You know, that's ridiculous. That's child abuse as far as I'm concerned. That's mental abuse. That's emotional abuse. Okay, that's ridiculous. But then it's okay. But it's also okay to like tell them in some fat guy who likes to go around dropping plastic shit every December 24th. You know, yeah, that's really awesome. You know. Let's not tell our kids, we're all one, we're all in this together, let's look out for our brothers and sisters. No, don't tell them that. I want to tell them about the tooth fairy, okay? So shut up. And then what does this breed for our children? You know what I'm saying? So if you lie to your kid for like the first 6 or 7 years, 8 years that they're alive, and then eventually they find out that you're lying to them, what kind of trust does that breed between a child and a parent? So you expect your children to trust you after you just lied to them for 7 or 8 years of their lives. And then you think you're going to be able to get through to them and tell them that shooting up massive amounts of heroin is wrong, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a little bit hard for them to trust your word after they find out you so extravagantly lied to them for a decade, okay? This is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous because if you tell your kids that Santa Claus isn't real, the Easter Bunny definitely isn't real, okay? If you tell them this stuff, like these goofballs will just come out and say like, you don't lie to your children? What is wrong with you? I'm calling children's services on her. I can't believe she doesn't let her kid believe in Santa Claus. I mean, who doesn't love Santa Claus? I think she's a Satanist. People are starting to talk. I think she's a Satanist. She doesn't like to lie to her children. Shame on that bitch. I'm calling children's services. We'll get those kids taken away. Go somewhere where they can actually enjoy a Christmas, you know? But if you tell these people, like, hey, instead of getting together on Christmas and exchanging a bunch of dumb shit, let's get together and talk about our feelings about one another, about how we love each other, how we appreciate their company, and what their influence has done for you personally, you know? Instead, they'll tell you you're gay. That sounds gay. What are you, a queer? You little queer? You want to talk about your feelings? You gay? Let's watch some football and beat the shit out of each other. That sounds great. I'll get you some stuff that you're going to put in your garage sale next year. How's that sound? Woohoo! Everybody wins. And then I can go to Best Buy and buy a bunch of stupid shit too. Okay. but it's just ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous, you know? And notice how it's Jesus' birthday, and you always see these bumper stickers and shit like that say, put the Christ back in Christmas, okay? So I've got a better idea. How about we all get together and talk about how Jesus was murdered, okay? Which was because Jews were afraid they were going to lose control of the population, plain and simple. That's what happened. So how about this? On Christmas, we all get together and discuss whether or not that's happening right fucking now. You know what I'm saying? Because Jesus, our Savior, died because of a bunch of shyster assholes who were afraid that they were going to lose control of the population, okay? You can't go around telling everybody they're one and to love one another. How are we going to sell stuff? How are we going to enslave people? I got a grass that needs mowed, damn it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, let's get together and talk about, Jesus was murdered because he didn't want to lose control. Is that happening today in our society? And then let's get together and see what we can do about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. This is ridiculous. And these people that are lying to their kids, these are the same goofball jackasses that believe in Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? Like, you're a grown-ass man believing in Groundhog Day. What is wrong with you? Get out of here. Pugs of Tony Phil, you gonna tell if a spring is coming? It's like, let me tell you something real quick. Spring ain't gonna be here until about mid-March. I'm just gonna put that out there. Just throwing shit on the wall. I don't know. I've been around for about 25, 26 of them. I'm just guessing. Probably around mid-March. We don't need some goofy-ass groundhog to tell us that and plastered on newspapers every year. Like, that story's not old, you know? And I'm getting ready to get off here, but I want to close by saying that it's funny that also these same Christians, you know, that talk about God and keeping Christ in Christmas and everything like that. I believe that they have like some sort of credo, I believe, called the Ten Commandments, and one of which is thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill, correct? But they don't have a problem with their government being in 4 wars at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, where are these Christian people at right now? How come they're not leading the anti-war protests, you know what I mean? Because it's so much easier to just drop $10 in a friggin' collection plate every Sunday, and then you can go home and touch yourself and talk about how great you feel. You know, that shower's going to be extra clean tonight. Shit. Pillows extra soft. This is going to be sweet. I'm going to sleep like a baby. Not even going to remember what I did yesterday. Swear. But the thing is, people, is that it's not one sect of minority. It's not one group of people. It's not one race that's getting screwed exclusively, okay? We're all getting screwed together equally, okay? We've all been raped our entire existence, all right? And it's not just black people, Latinos, Chinese, it's all of us, okay? I believe it's 6 billion people live on $10 a day or less. That's over 80% of the population, just on $10 a day. So we're all getting screwed, okay? It's not just one set of people. We're all getting screwed. So we need to come together and say that we're not going to take this shit no more, okay? Because we're not going to. And we're going to take back our lives, and this is how we're going to do it, through the Zeitgeist movement. What's up? Peace.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. If you're just now joining us, you're watching Zeitgeist Live. We're a weekly live public access television show, broadcast right here out of the Austin, Texas, Channel Austin studios. So welcome to our roundtable discussion today. I'd like to welcome Jenna Hasso, Bunny White, for our first time in the roundtable, and of course Chad Fisher and myself. So today's, we got a few topics to talk about today. The first topic is we want to talk about kind of picking up where Chad left off with his social commentary, which is children and kind of how we teach them as children to believe in these fairy tales, myths, and kind of how that plays into their development as adults. Because what we're dealing with here is really it's a form of social pathology. Yes, the monetary system plays a huge part in, so many problems in our society, but there's generally an overall lack of interest to change things, and there's a lot of apathy going on. So we got to look at what are the things that contribute to this apathy, to these beliefs, and to this overall kind of behavior patterns that we have. And so we want to talk about, how lying to our children might play into that. Secondly, we want to talk about sexuality in general, and also talking to children about sexuality and just how sexuality is looked at in general, and how it plays into the idea of equality and equality of choice. Because here at the Zeitgeist movement, yes, we advocate ending the monetary system, coming up with a more intelligent way of coming up with producing abundance. But we want to, it runs the gamut here. This movement is a solution-oriented movement, and we really just want to move past all these poor social conditions that we have and manifest an equitable society for all. And then the third thing we want to talk about is what is it? Unity. That's right, Jenna. Unity. Jenna brought this up. We want to talk about unity, oneness, and bridging the gaps, being flexible and being inclusive instead of exclusive, which I find happens within this movement. Oftentimes it can be exclusive, and so we want to be inclusive and talk about how unity plays into that fact. So I guess to start it off, we're going to bring on Peter Perez as well. Peter is the Co-Texas State Chapter Coordinator, and he is a parent as well. He and his wife Deanna have 2 children. So I feel like it's not fair to talk about child rearing unless somebody here on the panel is a parent themselves.
Got no kids.
Yeah, right. Is a parent themselves, and so at the moment none of us have children. So we'll be bringing Pete on here in a sec whenever we get a hold of Pete. But all right,
sure
Pete. Hey, Pete, can you hear us? Are you with us, brother?
Perspective, baby.
You might have to turn it up there on the wall, Eric. Pete,
Yeah.
can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
I
can
can
hear you.
hear you.
Awesome, brother. Brother Pete, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, guys. Great. You guys look so good out there.
Pete is in the house.
What are you doing right now?
Hey, Pete. So, yeah, man. Thanks for being with us. As like I was saying, you are a parent, and how are you and Deanna raising your children with regard to, first off, how old are your children?
We have 2 children. Hazel is 5, and Roman just turned 3 the other day.
Okay, and I know that coming into this movement, coming into this information, this is all fairly new for you, and so maybe with Hazel, and maybe with Roman, are you teaching them to believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, hell, or not?
Well, they're discovering these things on their own, and when they do discover them, we're going to be completely honest with them and let them know what purpose it served at the time when it was started, and really give as much background as we can. Everyone around us practically has computers, and we're trying to utilize that as a resource, and teach our kids how to use those things, and teach them how to be self-sufficient in that way. If they have a question, we have the resources to be able to find answers, and if mom and dad don't have the answer, we'll help you find it. And we're really developing that and allowing them to discover things on their own.
Awesome, man. And have they come to you? Have they come to you with these things? And have you gone through that process that you just talked to us about?
I think so. When you ask questions, you ask your children questions, and you encourage them to reciprocate with asking questions as well. And it's such an amazing, dynamic that you establish with your children, and hopefully they carry that along. So it really starts out from the beginning. You talk to them like an adult, and you get adult-like responses back.
Yeah. I can say that has anybody here ever had an interaction with a child that's been homeschooled?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a night and day difference. Talk to them. You can talk to somebody, a homeschool child that's like 9 years old, 8 years old, and it's like talking to an adult.
Yeah.
I've heard
Totally.
You know, and so I think that plays a really big difference. You were talking about this in your social commentary, where you can teach your children these things, these realities, but then they go to school and get chastised or ostracized for having different beliefs. It's no different than where we are right now, you know what I'm saying, as adults, you know.
Exactly.
So again, though, these are the things that I think these will make them stronger, these will make them wiser, these will develop more character as they get older. Instead of being just a sheep in the herd, they'll be unique.
Yeah,
And
that's one of the questions you have to ask yourself, is that if we want our children to help benefit society and ultimately ourselves, what's the way to accomplish that? Obviously, you want them to be as intelligent as possible. So do you think that hiding the truth from them, or just kind of like saying, I don't know all the time,
Right.
does that help? Or talking to them like they're a baby, you know what I mean? Like treating them like babies when they're 6, 7, 8 years old, does that help? And no,
Right,
it doesn't.
no.
It's frustrating and it's confusing. I remember my parents, the thing that they gave me as a response to everything was because.
because, just
Grew
because.
to hate
Yeah.
that word because it never actually explained anything, and I thought, I'm smarter than this.
Yep.
I can handle it. You
Exactly.
know? Talk to me.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
Right. Another thing, this might be irrelevant what we're talking about right now, because we're living in an age where they can get an answer to their question. They can just
Right.
bypass the parent
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and
true.
get an answer to their question. If they know how to push a Google button on an iPhone and just speak their question to
Yep.
it. You know what I'm saying? They know
Yep.
how to read.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can get their answers. They can get these truths.
But it doesn't substitute,
No, it doesn't.
at all.
It doesn't. You're right. You're
Because
right.
they look up to their parents, and when, like I said, when they see their parents lying to them, I mean, even if it's not in their head consciously all the time, like, oh, I remember, well, they still remember that, or they question everything you say then. Okay, are they lying to me again? I mean, I know it seems like they're being serious, but they also told me Santa Claus was real for 7 years and gave me presents and signed his name and ate cookies and all this other crap.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, come on,
Right,
man.
right.
Like,
Drink the milk.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Traumatizing.
yeah,
Right,
like
dude.
that's a huge conspiracy.
That's
that
a
their
huge-
parents
they really
just took
go
part
into
in for
it.
7 years. Like,
Right.
get out of here. I can see if it was a day. They're not telling them their dog died or something like that. But
Right.
you're talking about Santa Claus for like a decade.
Good point, man.
Like, come on.
Right. That's a long lot of lying right
Yeah,
there.
for
So,
real.
all right. So what else have you been lying to me about?
For real, yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, if Karen is your real name, is mom your? Maybe you're not even my mom. Maybe my aunt is my mom for all I know.
Hey, Peter, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Peter, either you were telling me or you were telling Chad, and he was relaying me the story. But actually, I think you might have even posted it on your Facebook wall. Or no, you sent me a message talking about how there was a woman, there was a family that put a statue of Michelangelo, no, David. Built,
Statue of David, yeah.
put a statue
in
of
the front
David
yard
in
of his
their
home.
front yard, and it's a nude statue of David. And this woman called into the radio show or something complaining because her daughter was in the car, and her daughter was asking, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And it freaked her out, and she didn't want to have that talk with her child. And so, how does sexuality play into a child's development? Because here in the United States, it's hush, hush, look away, up,
Yeah.
turn your head.
I'll say it messed me up pretty bad.
It messed you
I'll
up.
be really, really honest. I told my mother that I knew what was going on when I was young, and she just flat out told me I was wrong after I'd witnessed tons of things that I shouldn't have witnessed. And it set me off on a really bad course that I'm still, as an adult, trying to sort that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And like places and other places in the world, it's totally different. The cultures are totally different. The indigenous cultures, man, a couple will be getting it on right there out in the open,
Yes.
and nobody will even
Yep.
like notice it.
I'm sure there's a lot less rapes, and other,
exactly.
sexual
Right.
devious behaviors in those types of societies. It creates this like really weird, I guess you could say, stigma. You know what I mean? Because when everything's hush hush and you don't talk about it, you can see how it could create some
Curiosities
some bad
and desires
behaviors as well.
and that's where you got to go about it in an unintegral way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to go about it in a secretive fashion. And so there's this shame that's shrouded in your decisions
Yep.
to, do these things. And then you start making these poor decisions. You start molesting and,
Yeah.
things like this.
And I mean, we see that every day in our society, you know what I mean? And, but, you can't, it's just like a couple days ago, about a week or so ago, I was watching a basketball game on television, and while I was eating lunch, I believe. And it was like 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, okay? And I was just like eating, not paying attention to commercials. And there was like 3 commercials, a succession of commercials, and actually 4. And 3 of the 4 either had guns in the commercials or said murder or killing or were centered around murder and killing, you know what I mean? And so, like, what do you think this does to children, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't late at night, this is at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Of course there's children watching sporting events, and they hear murder, killing, shooting, in succession every commercial break. Like, doesn't that seem a little odd to you,
Well, it's conditioning us
Social
to...
Programming 101.
That's Douglas Millette. That was Douglas Millette.
Yes, it is.
Dougie Fresh in the house.
Yeah, it's social programming, isn't it, Doug? It's getting the population to become just used to it, so that they won't outcry or they won't complain or they won't protest or whatever it is when it comes to these wars or things of this nature. Do you agree?
They'll end up becoming desensitized to the nonsense that's around them because it's in their everyday life. It's the same thing you were talking earlier about sexuality. One of the things that we do around this house is we're nudists. We go to nudist resorts. We enjoy the human form. We run around the house naked. There is no shame in the human body. And because of that, our daughter has a different perspective on how the human form is and doesn't necessarily abide. In fact, sometimes we got to fight to keep clothes on her in public places to abide by the rules that people have set down as to feel bad about yourself because of the clothing that you wear. And so that's one of the things of many things that we do to help liberate her mind in a very constrictive society.
Awesome.
Man, that's awesome.
I wish I had more people like that in my life. I knew one girl who was raised like that, and she was so awesome.
And she was awesome, wasn't she? It showed. Like, that there's a high probability that you're going to produce a really balanced, intelligent, well-centered child. An aware child with this type of parenting.
Doug, do you notice that your child picks up or is influenced heavily by her friends at school? Like, they kind of act as almost, just in any society, whether it's young or old, I mean, we as adults see it as well, like a wolf pack where they kind of attack people that are individuals.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it's funny that you mentioned the homeschooling thing earlier. We're actually going to start doing that with our daughter because there, unfortunately, are a lot of bad parents out there who produce little disruptive spawn, and they say and do things that she tries to pick up on, and of course wants to bring that home. Now, granted, she's 7; she's just a sponge. She's soaking in all kinds of stuff, but sometimes she crosses lines. In fact, she's grounded right now for the rest of the weekend because yesterday she decided not to tell us that she had any homework and wanted to go outside and play.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, that didn't fall over very well. So we went over the whole "why did you lie to us" scenario, grounded her for a week, wrote a note for the rest of the week, wrote a note to the teacher and told the teacher that she's not allowed to participate in recess anymore. And the teacher read the note in front of all the kids as a way to kind of, I don't want to say embarrass, but make a point out of it. And I actually had no problem with that because that's going to reinforce to her that there are rights and wrongs. And even the teacher sent an email to my wife, April, saying, "I am so glad that you are the kind of parents that lay down discipline, but not like violent spanking
course.
stuff, but you
Right.
have a set of rules and you set the guidelines and you enforce them. And half of these kids, if not more of them, just run ragged as if their parents don't even pay attention.
Of course.
Right. Doug, at the age of 7, are you able to see any critical thinking? How are some ways that you're able to instill critical thinking with your daughter?
Dude, if you ever hung out with my daughter for just one day, you'd crap yourself on how critical thinking she is.
Really? Well, it's a date. I'd love to. Let's do it.
Hang out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's an amazing character. I mean, she says and does things sometimes that. Well, I'll give you a quick example. I don't want to monopolize the show. I'm so sorry, but let me give you a quick example. We had put earrings. We had got her ears pierced later on in life. I wanted to do it when she was a baby, but April decided to let her make the decision older to get her ears pierced. So she goes and she gets her ears pierced. And it hurts a little bit, but she got over it and she liked them. But they started getting a little infected, so she took them out. Well, we went through the process of trying to put them back in, and that did not go over very well. She was not interested in sticking anything back in her ear, and so. At one point, I was like, look, trust me, this is not going to hurt. She hadn't even done it yet, and she was bawling, crying. She was just afraid that it was going to hurt. So I tell her, look, trust me, it's not going to hurt. Trust me. And so she looks at me serious as hell and says, what happens if I don't?
Yeah.
I had no answer
No
for
answer.
that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, then you're wrong. That's all I could come up with was, well, then you're wrong, because you got to trust me on
Right.
that. But the fact that a 7-year-old would turn to me and say, well, what happens if I don't, she asked the question, what happens if I don't trust you? What are the ramifications? What are the pros and the cons? You could see all this going through her little mind, and I'm like, I loved it. I didn't like it so much because she got me, but I loved it.
She got me. I hate it when I get got.
A 7-year-old.
Cool, Doug.
That's awesome.
Hey, man, we got Oscar on the line as well.
Thanks, Doug. You rock, man.
Yeah, man.
Hello.
Doug, thanks for calling in.
Thank you
Oscar.
for having me on as well.
Hey, brother. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. What do you have to say?
Yeah. Oh, I have a little sassy 6-year-old, and she's a up-and-coming scientist as well.
Cool.
Just the other holiday was Easter. Her mom got her an Easter basket with all kinds of consumer things inside of it. And she's like, look what the Easter bunny gave you. It's like, Mom, I understand that the Easter bunny is a fairy tale, but it's okay because I enjoy fairy tales. So, yeah, she's a real sassy one. I like it.
Dude, that is awesome, man.
That's rad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wanted to share a story real quick. Just that I think that just a story maybe for parents that are maybe thinking about, starting to tell the truth to their children more, or start to open up those critical, that avenue for critical thought and everything like that. I have a friend who has a child, a 6-year-old, and she had mentioned something about the tooth fairy the other day when she lost a tooth, and her mom didn't leave her money under her pillow, and she started asking questions like, why didn't the tooth fairy leave me anything? Well, then the mom had realized at this point, maybe I need to stop lying to her, and had also gone through her own awakening, so to speak, and it started to realize that maybe it's not right that I continuously do this with my child. And so she just basically started asking her questions about the tooth fairy and started saying, asking her real practical questions, like, how do you think the tooth fairy, if she's this small, how can she carry all this money to give to all these people, all these kids that lose their teeth? She's asking them very, very practically and allowing her to arrive at her own decision. Well, then the kid says, is the tooth fairy real? And she says, well, what do you think? And she says, no. And she's like, you're right. And she comes up to her mom and gives her a hug and says, thank you for not lying to me, Mommy.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then this happens again also with Santa Claus a few days later. She does the same thing about 5 or 6 days later, because that obviously started churning thoughts in her head.
Well, if that's a lie, what else is it?
Oh yeah, exactly. Well then, you know what I mean? So then as children, obviously, they start to think like, what else has my parents been lying to me about? You know what I mean? And I think the kids want to be told the truth. You know what I mean? If you ask a kid, if you were to ask them very, very, very plainly, do you want me to lie to you or do you want me to tell you the truth always? They would say, of course, I want you to tell me the truth. Right. So I understand it's like a little fairy tale and it's cute and all that stuff, but this isn't helping really.
It's not the only way to give fairy tales. You can make fairy tales to be understood as fairy tales. It doesn't destroy the enjoyment that a person gets from it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oscar, hey man, thanks. Go ahead.
Oh, just one last thing. What's really important for my child, and as far as lying and whatnot, is I teach her how to ask questions.
Of course.
Like her friend, her something about was a question was asked. Well, why does the Earth spin, or how does the Earth spin, or so I can't remember exactly. And the answer the grandma gave her was because Jesus makes it spin.
Oh, man.
And I just threw in there really quick. That may be true, but that still doesn't answer how does the Earth spin.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not squashing some other girl's
Exactly.
faith, you know.
That's true.
But I want to show to my daughter there's a distinction between why and how.
Nice.
Thanks, Oscar.
Yeah, thank you, Oscar. Everybody, we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks.
Zeitgeist Live. So we faded out. We really didn't get to our Unity segment, though.
Yeah.
We could still continue it right now for the archives.
Well, we could save it.
Save it for another round
Yeah,
table?
that's true.
Okay,
That song was
cool.
pretty broad.
Cause
All right.
yeah, because this one was more.